Right, hi guys, welcome again. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about making wine and the wine kits and the different styles that are available on the market. We start with these two at the front. Okay, one's my own label, one's from another company which is Solomon Grundy, and this is the platinum version. So basically what these are a 7-day wine kit. So you can start it on a Sunday and be supping it by the following Sunday. Depending on the time of year, obviously when it's a bit colder at this time of year, winter, it may drag on a little bit if you've not got proper heating sorted for it, and I'll explain later on in the video about that. But most modern day brewing, all kits are designed to go at 21 degrees. So things like a heat belt, heat pad, heat tray is what you need. So these 7-day kits, they use a version of a non-traditional wine yeast, which is a turbo yeast, so it ferments out quickly. It has a lot more dextrose and glucose in it, so that helps with the fermentation process. And depending on what kit you get on a 7-day kit, so for example these Solomon Grundy or Cellar 7 or anything along them lines, like Australian blends or any of these kits, I don't recommend getting kits that you have to add sugar to. Buying a kit at 22 quid or 23 quid, and then by the time you bought the correct sugar, which is brewing sugar, you're up to about 33 quid anyway, so you may as well just get a kit where it's all blended in and sorted. So these add sugar in, you don't need to add sugar, basically you just tip them out and top them up and pitch your yeast. So we're going to, as you can see, these are 5 litre kits, so you get 5 litres of concentrate with the sugar included, and then you sort of knock it up a level. So these range between £32 and £34.50, depending whether it's a red. And then you go on to a kit that takes 28 days. So this is more a traditional wine kit. Now, we used to brew back before, so it takes over 28 days. Some take up to 6 or 8 weeks even, depending on the quality of the kit. So this is just a run-of-the-mill Vinters Reserve. It's double the amount of concentrate. So this is a 5 litre kit, this is a 10 litre kit. So it actually has more natural bricks, what it's called in the trade, which is more natural sugars and less dextrose in it, and it uses a version of a traditional wine yeast which goes over 28 days. So you're looking for something about £1, from £1 to £1.10 a bottle ish, to about £1.70 to £2 a bottle, depending on what sort of kit you get. And again, so then you step up in levels again. So this is a 10 litre kit, then you can move on to a 15 or 16 litre kit, and then you go right up to the very top, which is an 18 litre kit. So you get 18 litres of concentrate and you add less water to it, so it's better quality. When you look at kits in your home brewing shop, guys, just don't go off the cheapest one every time because you think home brew's got to be cheap. If you think about it, £1.10 a bottle of wine. Even the top kit, £125, is £4.40 a bottle. So when you go to the shop anyway, you're most probably spending £4.50 to £6 on a bottle of wine anyway. So, you know, I recommend people starting off with a 7-day kit because you've got something and you're saving money straight away. But once you've got your confidence up and you know what you're doing, move on to a better quality kit. You won't regret it. It'll actually blow your socks off on the quality of these modern day winemaking kits. Gone are the days of grandma and granddad with glass demijohns all over the place, bubbling away, corks exploding and things like that. You know, you don't even need to bottle. Unless you're spending a lot of money on your kit, you don't need to bottle. You don't need to bottle, guys. So I'm going to put this one back. 1 second. Ugh. I'm going to put this Solomon Grundy back. Ugh. Right, so the kit I'm actually going to do today is my own label. It's a red Rioja. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually make a wine kit, and I'm putting this on as samples in my shop so people will be able to test it and try it out. So all we need to get is a bit of preparation, guys. So I'm going to start boiling my kettle now, because basic rule of thumb, whatever you're making, it's to make 5 gallons, it's 2 boiled kettles, so 3.5 to 4 litres of boiled water, and the rest just topped up with cold water in your kit, and that should be at the perfect temperature between 20 and 24 degrees to pitch your yeast. That's just experience. I've done it so many times that I don't even bother with a temperature gauge now, because I know it is approximately 2 boiled kettles and the kit. So 1 moment, I'll start my kettle off. Right, well that's the kettle on, and that'll start boiling now, so you'll hear that in the background bubbling up. Sorry for the audio. You know, I'm not like Blue Peter, and this is one I prepared earlier. I'm doing it on the fly so you can actually see how quick and easy it is. So let me tell you a little bit about my own label. Okay, so a lot of these other kits like the Solomon Grundy, Cellar 7 and things like that, they try and emulate a shop bought wine. So they'll have colouring in them, they'll have tannins in them, and then you look at the ingredients, there's added water and sugar comes after. So you've got grape concentrate, sugar, water, then you've got your flavourings, the additives and your colours. Well, my sort of kit, I'm quite proud of this. You can never get an organic wine kit because basically you've got things like finings and you've got your stabiliser and you've got your yeast and your yeast nutrients. So apart from that side, and the sugar that's in here of course, this is basically a blend of grape concentrate, and then you have fruit in it as well. So this one's got elderberry and cherry in it, and then the last thing on it is added sugar. So there's more natural fruit content in here to give you more fermentation than there is sugar. Well, the other kits will try and emulate a shop wine. It's the other way around, they've got more sugar in them and less fruit. So most of these reds, because they don't have colours or tannins in, tend to come out quite pale, like a bit of a dark rosé if you would, but the taste is absolutely fantastic. That's, you know, it changes colour year in, year out because of the different yields of fruit, but the taste is exactly the same. So like I said, this is a red Rioja. Kettle's not going to boil if you don't plug it in. Hurry! Right, try again. So the kettle's boiling. So let me tell you a little bit about what you get in your kettle. This is what I call a chem pack. So you get everything you need in here to make your brew. Pop that in the bin. You don't need that. Okay, so like I said, I know all this because I've done it so many times. But here we go. You have, once you've actually made your kit, which I'm going to show you in a moment, when it's all ready to go, you pitch your yeast. That's your yeast and your yeast nutrient there. Okay. So, and then you just keep it warm and ferment it out. Depending on how if you like a dry wine, I always let it ferment a couple of days longer. It does say ferment for 5 days and then stabilise it and do your finings. But you know, you can actually let it go as long as it's pushing gas through your actual airlock on your bucket. The CO2 will protect your wine. So if you're busy that weekend, you can always come back to it at another point as long as it's pushing gas. So when it's actually done, you've got your stabiliser and then you've got your finings. Of course, you've got your instructions. Each kit comes with different instructions, but basically it's the same, unless they'll say, oh, add this here or add that there. Some kits, the more expensive kits you get, come with like grape skins in it and things like that, so you can really emulate a nice quality wine. And it gives you all your instructions about mixing, fermentation, stopping the fermentation, your clearing, your racking, tasting the wine. And this one actually comes in with quite a handy guide, and it tells you how to adjust the sweetness using the hydrometer of your wine. So if you don't like it too dry, what you'll do is you've got an approximate guidance here to tell you between medium dry and a sweet wine. But I like it dry. I like to make sure all the alcohol's fermented out. So, like I said, you can refer to this at any point you want. It's a useful guide. But once you've done it a couple of times, you'll be like me and you just YOLO it in. So it's this simple look. So, take my lid off. Drain the excess water that's accumulated. So all I've done since the sterilising video is I've rinsed my bucket out, I've rinsed my mixing paddle out. So all we're going to do, we're going to open this up. This is your concentrate. Ooh, that smells good. It smells nice. What I'm going to do is, as you can see, I'm just going to pour it in. It's as easy as this, look. Now, like I said, depending on your kit, it'll either come in a tub like this, or some come in bag pouches. But whatever the case is, you want to go and fill this up, or put some water in so you can swill it out. I have some here in a bottle I prepared. I am a bit like Blue Peter, I have got some, but this is from a coffee machine basically. This tops my coffee machine up. The skankiest looking bottle ever. It just doesn't have but just made water out. So that's enough in there. Put the lid back on. Give it a shake to clean it up. There you go, nice and clean. Now what you can do with these as well, this is a food grade 5 litre or gallon container. It does have markings on the side as well, so you can use this for measuring. You can also use it to store your wine in, but bear in mind once you've opened that, it's 5 litres of wine you've got to dog in. But it's a useful container. Or you can put still cider in it, stuff like that. Quite useful. Or just recycle it. Make sure it goes in the recycling bin, guys. Okay, so I've got my first kettle ready, and all I'm going to do is launch it in, look. And then I'll go and get another 1 minute. So I've filled the cycle kettle up, just going to boil that. This is literally how long it takes, guys. As long as it takes you to boil. It's taking me a little bit long because obviously I'm trying to explain stuff to you, but you can see how quick and easy it is. You basically just unpack your box, you sterilise your bucket, sterilise your equipment, rinse it all out, empty your tub out, 2 boiled kettles. Once I've done that, I'm going to take it to where I've got my tap. There's no point in filling it up here. I want it to basically be where I'm going to do my fermentation. So all I'll do differently is I'll take it up to the required, which is 22.5 litres for 30 bottles of wine. A top tip here, guys, instead of bottling, like I said, you don't really need to bottle unless you're spending a lot of money on a kit. But especially these 7-day kits, you know, they're meant to be drunk on the 7th day. They're not going to mature or get any better. Maybe a couple of weeks down the line for reds to get a bit better. But what I recommend and utilise is I'm a big fan of these bag-in-a-box systems. I first got into them from when I was making ale. And basically, what I do is I prime it in a keg and then siphon it into this bag-in-a-box and put it on a handpull. Keeps your beer fresh for months. But it's the same for wine. So basically what it is inside here, you just get a box. This is a 10 litre one, so you can split it over 2 boxes if you want to put it in the fridge. I do 5 litre boxes as well, so you can split it down even further. But what I recommend is I have a 20 litre box, which is double the size of this. And all you do is you build your box, the bag comes sterilised, and all you do is you pull that out, and see, put your siphon in, fill it up to its 80s, and clack it down. So these 20 litre bags will take approximately 21 litres in them. You can squeeze a little bit more in them. So as you'll see, what I recommend is you can, if you want to make your wine stronger, don't chuck sugar in it, for God's sake. It's, you know, just reduce your litrage, reduce your bottles. So I brew generally at 21.5 litres, so I've got half litre for what I call scrappage, the bit you leave on top of your yeast when you rack it, the bit you leave on top of your finings and you never get in. So you've got that to play about with, and you've got 21 litres to slap in this bag in a box. So simple. You know, no sterilising bottles, no corking, no labelling, you just basically ferment it in 1 bucket. So the process is, guys, whilst we're waiting for the kettle to boil, I might as well tell you. So 2 boiled kettles, top it up to what your litrage you want, pitch your yeast, let it go for 7 days fermenting, keeping it warm, right? 7 days have passed, you sterilise another bucket to make, because we're making wine, you need 2 vessels. So you've got your primary FV, your primary fermentation, and you've got your second bucket. So what you'll do is you'll rack it, so you'll sterilise your siphon it into your new bucket that's all been sterilised and rinsed. And then at that point you use your stabiliser. Now, stabiliser, what it does, it actually kills the yeast and degasses your wine, takes the CO2 out of the wine, because that's basically what it does when it's converting sugar to alcohol. It makes CO2. That CO2 helps protect your wine or whatever you're making. But if you don't kill the yeast and you bottle it, when your wine gets warm on a sunny day, that's the old horror stories of bottles and corks opening up and firing off, because they've not actually killed the yeast in it. So that's what your stabiliser does. Now it's quite visual. There's my kettle boil, 1 minute. Right, so that's ready now. I just pitched that, I take that to 21.5 litres, and then I'll put my yeast in it. Give it a stir, put it on its heat pad. Job's done. So, stabilising, I'll tell you about that. You know, when it's ready in a week's time, I'll most probably make another video about stabilising and finings and things like that. But I may as well tell you about it now as well. It's really simple. It's all in your instructions, but it's clockwork how it works. So this stabiliser kills your yeast, degasses your wine. So you add it into your new bucket with the wine that you've racked off, and then you use your mixing paddle. right? And you actually beat the wine. What you're doing is you're degassing the wine, you're taking the CO2, you're killing the yeast. And it's like when you pour a Coca-Cola or fizzy drink and it goes fizzes up at the top, that's basically what you're going to see in your wine. And over a space of like, let's say 2 or 3 hours, every half an hour it does come back. So you hit it maybe 3 to 4 times, and you give it a good 5 minutes beating every time. You'll have a decent layer of froth on top, and then when it subs down again, you do it again, and it gets less and less and less. Then at that point, you have a 2-part fining system. Okay, so you'll part A, part B, whatever it is. You can add them separately. I generally chuck them in together. You know what I mean? There's nothing about having an hour between them. It does say that in the kit, so if you want to follow the kit instructions, but I just generally go like that, slip them both, chuck them in at the same time, give it a slow stir, because this is the point, you don't want to oxidise your wine, and then you leave it somewhere for a couple of days with no heat, hopefully below like 14 degrees and not below 8, so that's a nice range for it, and that helps the clearing. It helps the yeast and everything drop, so it just drops crystal clear, and then at that point, that's when you get your bag in a box or your bottles. So if you're bottling, you'll sterilise your bottles and rinse them out and cork them. If you're using a bag in a box, it will come sterilised. You just pop it out, fill it up, take the air out of it, done. And that's it, you're done. So guys, all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and complete this kit. I'm going to get a beer kit on afterwards as well. I'm going to show you how to make a beer kit. May as well, it's the next easiest thing to do. So like I said, all I'm going to do is top this up to 21.5 litres, pitch my yeast, and that's it. You leave it for a week and you come back. So I hope you realise this is how easy it is, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you soon.